crafting your own bath bombs and soaks. There is something undeniably therapeutic about the sound of a bath bomb hitting the water. That immediate hiss and the explosion of bubbles can turn a standard Tuesday night into a high-end spa experience. If you have ever looked at the price tag of a gourmet bath bomb and thought that you could probably make it yourself, you are absolutely right. Not only is it possible, but crafting your own bath additives gives you total control over what touches your skin. The secret to that satisfying fizz lies in a simple yet fascinating bit of chemistry involving two household staples, which are citric acid and baking soda. When these two meet in the presence of water, they throw a tiny party in your tub. This guide will walk you through everything you need to know about crafting the perfect bath bomb and fizzy soak, from the basic science to advanced troubleshooting. The science behind the sparkle. Before we roll up our sleeves, let's talk about why these ingredients work so well together. Bath bombs are essentially a dry delivery system for an acid-base reaction. Baking soda, known scientifically as sodium bicarbonate, is a weak base. Citric acid, which is naturally found in citrus fruits, is a weak acid. In their dry powdered form, these two are perfectly happy to sit next to each other. However, as soon as you drop them into your bath water, the water acts as a catalyst. The molecules dissolve and collide, leading to a chemical reaction. The formula looks like this. The star of the show here is the CO2 or carbon dioxide. Those millions of tiny bubbles are gas escaping the water, creating that effervescent effect we love. Once the reaction is complete, you are left with sodium citrate in the water, which actually acts as a water softener, making your skin feel extra silky. Essential ingredients for success. To get started, you only need a few core components. Once you master the basics, you can start getting fancy with botanicals and colors, the reactive base. The golden ratio for a reliable fizz is usually 2 parts baking soda to 1 part citric acid. If you use too much baking soda, the bomb might feel a bit chalky and won't fizz as vigorously. If you use too much citric acid, the reaction might happen too fast, or the bomb could become too acidic for sensitive skin. The fillers and binders, while the acid and base provide the action, you need other ingredients to provide the bulk and hold everything together. Cornstarch. This acts as a stabilizer. It slows down the reaction between the baking soda and citric acid, making the fizz last longer. It also gives the bath water a creamy, luxurious feel. Epsom salts. These are fantastic for sore muscles. Magnesium sulfate is the active component here, and it dissolves beautifully in warm water to help you relax. Carrier oils. To keep the bomb from being a dry puck of powder, you need a little fat. Coconut oil, sweet almond oil, or jojoba oil are great choices. They moisturize your skin and help bind the dry ingredients together. Aromatherapy and color, this is where your personality comes in. Essential oils. Lavender is a classic for sleep, while eucalyptus is great for clearing the sinuses. Just be careful with citrus oils like lemon or orange, as they can sometimes be photosensitive or irritating to very sensitive skin. Colorants stick to cosmetic-grade micas or water-soluble dyes. Food coloring works in a pinch, but it can sometimes stain your tub or your skin if you use too much. Step-by-step guide to your first batch. Making bath bombs is a bit like making a pie crust. You want the texture to be just right, not too wet and not too dry. Step 1. Prepare your workspace. Humidity is the enemy of a good bath bomb. If it is a rainy day, your mixture might start fizzing before you even get it into the mold. Work in a cool, dry area. Grab 2 bowls, one for dry ingredients and one for wet. Step 2, mix the dry ingredients. In your large bowl, whisk together 1 cup of baking soda, half a cup of citric acid, half a cup of Epsom salts, and half a cup of corn starch. Make sure there are no clumps. A sifter can be a lifesaver here if your baking soda is particularly lumpy. Step 3, blend the wet ingredients. In your smaller bowl, mix 2 tablespoons of your chosen carrier oil, about 10 to 15 drops of essential oil, and a few drops of colorant. If you want a really vibrant bomb, you might need a bit more color, but remember that a little goes a long way. Step 4, the great integration. This is the trickiest part. You want to add the wet mixture to the dry mixture very slowly. If you pour it all in at once, you will trigger the fizzing reaction, and your bath bomb will be ruined before it starts. Add the liquid a teaspoon at a time, whisking vigorously after each addition. The goal is a consistency that feels like damp sand. When you squeeze a handful in your fist, it should hold its shape without crumbling. If it is still too powdery, you can use a spray bottle to lightly spritz the mixture with a tiny bit of water or witch hazel. Step 5, molding. Pack the mixture tightly into your molds. You can use professional stainless steel spheres, silicone muffin tins, or even plastic Easter eggs. Press the 2 halves together firmly and let them sit for a few minutes. Step 6, drying. Carefully unmold your creations onto a piece of parchment paper. They need to dry for at least 24 hours. Resist the urge to poke them. Once they are rock hard, they are ready for the tub. Beyond the bomb fizzy bath soaks. If molding sounds like too much work, or if your bombs keep crumbling, don't worry. You can make a fizzy bath soak instead. This is essentially a deconstructed bath bomb. You use the same ingredients, but instead of pressing them into a shape, keep them in a loose, powdered form. Why choose a soak? Soaks are much more forgiving. You don't have to worry about the moisture levels being perfect for molding. Plus, you can easily customize the amount you use. If you want a quick foot soak, you can just use a tablespoon. If you want a full-blown luxury experience, you can dump in a whole cup. Recipe for a relaxing fizzy soak: try mixing 2 cups of baking soda, 1 cup of citric acid, and 1 cup of pink high mu lei un salt. Add some dried rose petals and a few drops of geranium essential oil. Store this in a beautiful glass jar with a wooden scoop. It makes a stunning gift and provides a wonderful, bubbly experience without the stress of molding. Troubleshooting common issues. Even the pros have bad days. If your bath bombs aren't turning out quite right, here are the most likely culprits. The expanding bomb. If your bath bombs start to grow out of their molds like a slow-motion volcano, your mixture is too wet. The water in the recipe has already started the chemical reaction. Next time, try using less water and rely more on the oils or a light mist of witch hazel. The crumbly bomb. If your bomb falls apart the moment you take it out of the mold, it is likely too dry. It needs just a bit more binder to stay together. Also, make sure you are packing the mold as tightly as possible. Gaps of air inside the bomb make it structurally weak. The soft or squishy bomb. If the bomb stays soft and never gets that rock-hard shell, you might have used too much oil. While oils are great for the skin, they don't evaporate like water or witch hazel does, so they can keep the bomb from setting properly. Fading scent and color. Essential oils are volatile, meaning they evaporate over time. If you leave your bath bombs out in the open air, the scent will vanish within a week. Always store your finished products in an airtight container. Pro tips for the ultimate bath. To get the most out of your handmade additives, keep these tips in mind. Temperature matters. While scalding hot bath might feel good on the muscles, it can actually cause the essential oils to evaporate too quickly. Aim for a warm, comfortable temperature to let the scents linger. The cleanup: to prevent ring around the tub, add a tiny bit of polysorbate 80 to your wet ingredients. This is an emulsifier that helps the oils and micas mix with the water rather than sticking to the sides of the porcelain. Freshness is key. Because these are made with natural ingredients and no heavy preservatives, try to use them within 6 months. The fizzing power will naturally diminish as the ingredients absorb ambient moisture from the air. Storage and packaging. If you are making these as gifts, presentation is everything. Because bath bombs are sensitive to moisture, you want packaging that is both pretty and functional. Shrink wrapping is the gold standard for keeping bombs fresh, but if you want something more eco-friendly, glass jars with airtight lids are a fantastic option. You can add a piece of ribbon and a handwritten label listing the ingredients. This is especially important if you are giving them to friends with allergies. Embracing the ritual of self-care. In a world that is always rushing, taking 20 minutes to sit in a tub of colorful, fragrant bubbles is a radical act of self-care. When you craft these items yourself, you aren't just making a product, you are creating an experience. You can tailor your soaks to your exact mood. Had a long day at the office, reach for the peppermint and eucalyptus, need to decompress before bed? The lavender and chamomile are your best friends. The beauty of the citric acid and baking soda reaction is its simplicity. It is a little bit of science that creates a whole lot of joy. So go ahead, experiment with colors, play with scents, and don't be afraid to make a little bit of a mess in the kitchen. The perfect bath is waiting for you.